Creating an orthographic drawing is really quite simple. You just have to know where to start and what the steps are. For this project, it's easy because you already know what size the different components are going to be. Most of the time though, you would be designing from an idea drawing, and that means you would have to make the measurements up based on the materials you are going to be using when doing the drawing. Let's have a look at the components we've got to work with. Your desk organizer will be made from plywood. The thickness of the plywood you will use is 10 millimeters. You will have 4 different components. Here you can see the top. And here is the bottom. The front side can be seen here on the left and the back side on the right. Here we are looking at the components from a tunnel view perspective. When I turn the desk organizer to the right, the front or the back view is what I will see. When I flip it to the top, I will see the top or the bottom view. When doing an orthographic drawing, it's really important to understand that the views and the components must always be lined up. We line them up using guidelines. Let me explain that to you. Guidelines are really thin lines that you use to define the shape of the different components. We will start here with the top view, and I have drawn a guideline at the top of the component's edge. A line at the bottom edge, the left edge and the right edge have been added. Remember, these are light lines. They are just there to help you know where the placement of the different pieces are. The guidelines from the first component are used to position the other view that you're going to draw next. We started with the top component view. Now we want to place the front view beneath it, but within the guidelines that are already there. Remember to leave a little space between the two views that you are drawing. The additional guidelines now get drawn in from the front view, and they will help you to see where the tunnel view has to go. Draw the additional guideline for the tunnel view going from the top to the bottom of the page in to complete all of the guidelines. Let's translate that to a drawing on paper, as you have to do. After placing your paper in the drawing board and clipping it into place, you need to start off with 2 light guidelines close to the corner of the paper. Do it exactly like you can see here, one at the bottom and one on the left-hand side of your drawing board. Before you can continue, you need to know the measurements of the component you want to draw. We are going to draw the top component, and we need to know how long it is. 140 millimeters in length and 100 millimeters wide. The material we are using is 10 millimeter plywood. Measure 100 millimeters from the left line and draw a guideline from the one side of the paper all the way through to the other side. Remember, this has got to be a light line, it's got to be accurate and straight, so use the ruler and clip it into the board. Next, measure 140 millimeters from the bottom line and draw another guideline across the paper. Use a darker line to define the component. I've also written top view to make sure I know exactly what it is that I have drawn. Next, we're going to be drawing the front view. This actually shows us 3 different components stacked on each other. We are working with 10 mm thick plywood. This means the top layer of our front view will be 10 mm thick because that is the side view of the top component. The other important measurements for the front component is that it is 140 millimeters long and 80 millimeters wide. This is the middle section of your front view. Leave some space between the top view before you start with the front view. They should not be touching each other. Measure 10 millimeters and draw the front view of the top component. Remember, guidelines should be light and outline the component with a darker line. Then draw the front component, as well as the front view of the bottom component. Thereafter, you're going to draw the bottom component. It is exactly the same size as the top component. Lastly, you will use your guidelines to put the tunnel view in position. It should line up with the front view. Your drawing is done. Now you have to add the measurements. The measurements are always on a measurement line, and a measurement line starts and ends on a guideline. This should be clearly defined at the edge of the line. The measurements should be written in the middle of the line. Try to stick to one side of the line to make it consistent. All sides have to be defined with measurements. Lastly, we need to explain which scale the drawing is. The one we've made is a 1:1 scale. It's also important to define the measurement unit. We are working in millimeters. If this is not written on your page, it is impossible to make this product using the drawing, so do not forget this information. Good luck! I hope you find it easy to create your very first orthographic drawing.